Hello and welcome to this episode of Embodied CEO, a journey. So, this is the new iteration of the podcast, and I can't wait for you to hear all the guests I've had. So, I've had them come on in this period of change. It's been through all of the seasons like Christmas and summer and these wild times of the eclipse is ending and the eclipse is starting again. Right now it is the full moon eclipse coming and passing. And they are wild times energetically, and I think we're all feeling them. And so I wanted to start this season at this time because I finally passed through all of my crazy astrology, where in February is apparently never a good time for me to do anything, but that's always when I plan to do everything. That's when I initially launched my very first iteration of my podcast a couple of years ago. And that is when I tried to do this again. So, some of the women sharing their stories upcoming are just so powerful and so potent. They are, sharing their healing, sharing their transformation, and all of the things. And my episodes in between here are coming through as personal stories and this evolution to the embodied CEO and my journey as well. So I know that this is a destination kind of you're like you can be in now, and you can be in a more embodied version as well. So I want you to know that this is a journey for everyone, and it's really interesting interviewing everyone, knowing that or seeing that, right? So you can look at them, especially from the outside, and go, fuck, they're so embodied is a big word, right? But they seem really embodied. They seem really grounded in what they're doing. And sometimes, truly behind the scenes, it's the unraveling still that's happening so that they can get to an even deeper embodiment. And what I mean by embodied is really living in that alignment. So, kind of like finding what you want to be doing, what feels good to be doing, how it feels good to be doing it, no longer being dictated by how people around you are expecting you to do things, how society expects you to do things, how you expect yourself to do things because you've been conditioned and told that things must be a certain way. And what I want for you out of this is to unravel those beliefs and create your own, and make sure they come completely from you. Not that they have to do this, but you can do that. You can unravel things that have come from places that you didn't choose for them to come into your being, and you can unravel it and decide, what do you really want your beliefs to be? What do you really want your existence to be? Where do you want your foundations to come from? And for me, I want my foundations to come from me entirely. And I don't mean like A, selfishly, or B, like I don't want to hear anyone else's opinions or anything, or want to live collaboratively. That's actually completely opposite. I want to be so grounded in who I am that I can collaborate with everyone everyone that resonates and everyone that I'm meant to, and not kind of have any doubts or any feelings come up, or any I don't want to collaborate because competition over collaboration. Not that I've ever really been at that stage, but I want it to be so grounded in who I am. I want everything I do to be so grounded in who I am. And my journey is to find out who I really am. Not these titles, not any of that. I just want to be me, and I want me to shine into what I do, and shine into who I do it for, and shine into who I do it with. And I don't want it to be dictated by anyone else anymore. And it's been really an interesting journey, because I was very much a passive human being for, I guess you could say passive, like for my younger life. It was very much like taking the information, try my best to be exactly what people are asking for. And that was like, I was really good at that for a while. I did straight A's for a long time. I then, kind of got fed up with trying to do that. So then I rebelled. I got really good at rebelling as well. Still kind of remaining pretty good academically, because though I had this sense that I had to do really good so that I could go through, higher education and, make something better because my parents were immigrants from Hungary to Canada, and I wanted to like make them proud, obviously, and be able to support myself and be able to do something amazing, which was like go into the system essentially and, have a career and do that. So they kind of wanted that me to do that, but then at the same time, they kind of like halfway through were like, oh, wait, actually, just like live however you want to live and just enjoy life. And I love them for that. So very grateful for that. Also, I didn't really have a lot of direction, so I was just kind of unwinding it. And I'm very much an experimenter and a researcher. So, like, I love to learn and then I love to experiment it. So, that is a reflection of my whole life. And that is a reflection of what this podcast is going to be really showcasing and letting out. I am that person. I have tried like everything. I've tried every iteration of everything in every aspect of life. I'm starting to really feel like that, right? Like I, have a semi truck to, go live off grid. Like my vehicles are a very good encapsulation of that. I am, we have a Corvette, we have a semi truck, we have a van. So it's like half van life, half go live off grid full time, half, be I basically like have really lent into my feminine in that Corvette though. It's like, yes, drive me around. I'll be a passenger princess. And I'm very here for that. I've been looking to lean into my feminine for so long. And I was like, this is a really beautiful place to do that. So I am untangling. I am unbecoming. I was, the tomboy that had all guy friends. So yay, I'm becoming more feminine again. Um, and like I did go through a stage of being really feminine when I was younger. I was a party girl, and I was like kind of feminine, but at the same time when I was partying, to be fair, I was still kind of a tomboy, I suppose. I like pretty dress, but like I'm like I can drink and I can, converse, and I can, love all the things that guys love. I love like heavy metal concerts and moshing and like being in the mosh pit with guys. And so that's still me though. That really, to be fair, that didn't untangle my feminine too much, but I didn't get a chance to be in my feminine really. It was like be girly, but don't be girly. So that's my part of my journey as well. Right now, really leaning into the feminine and making sure that I make decisions from who I am. So this is my journey of embodiment. And I really am becoming like the teacher I always needed, becoming the adult I always needed, becoming the role model I always needed, and realizing so much that my journey isn't always have been tied to this like live differently attitude, which you'll hear me say in a lot of places now. It's very grounding. That's when I started my business. I started it, well, initially it was badass bus life because we were building a bus to live in, and the motto is like live differently. And I so believe that, so wholeheartedly believe that, because when I was traveling like nomadically by myself, it was so empowering to be able to live differently. Like actually I was talking to my friend today and voice noting her, like she wants to go be nomadic for like forever and just go learn languages in different countries. And it really reminded me of, I got to live in Hungary. I got to live where my grandparents live because I decided to live nomadically, and I got to spend some time with them that I never would have otherwise. And I actually got to spend time with both my grandfathers before they passed separately at separate times. And I had a really good moment. They were both not kind people, but like our last times together were really lovely because we kind of got to respect each other as adults. And I wouldn't have experienced that if I didn't live a bit differently. So for me, I think embodiment is like, can I like what I want to do, I'm going to do. How I want to feel about something, how I want to think about something is what I'm going to do, what I'm going to feel, how I'm going to change my life. I really want to live my life how I want to. Like, for example, actually, as well, a really good example is I was watching this thing called Visionaries. It's a show where Keanu Reeves goes around, he's making a motorcycle. Anyway, he's interviewing this older guy, and he's built a volcano into a cool art exhibit, essentially, that really showcases different phases of like the planetary, the universal movement. So, for example, you sit in one chair and you look up out of the art exhibit, essentially, which is like a room, and it's amazing. And you can see the exact point where the planet um, pivots on its axis. So that exact point is where we are pivoting on. And then he has another one where it's like the exact universal, the movement of the entire Earth. So it's like the journey that Earth goes on is highlighted in one of his other exhibits. And it's like a light showing it. And it's all in tune with how the planet moves. And he spent 40 years doing this. And I was like, this is amazing. This is fully embodying who he is. And he got to have that as his life instead of a career, for example, instead of a career, instead of something he was locked into because someone else told him to. And I was like, what a beautiful way to live your life. So this is my mission. This is like, if this resonates, I really hope that like you continue with me on this journey. So I really want to, be my own teacher. So I'm going to lean into what I believe, and I really want you to lean into what you believe. And if you join me on this journey, I think you will untangle things within yourself that you didn't know were possible. There's some crazy cool people around me that show me how to think differently and give me bigger perspective. And I would love to be that anchor for you as well, to see these extra things in life that give us this huge perspective shift. And I would actually love you to just come and do crazy stuff with me. So in my like Amplify Collective, for example, we're doing live events and meeting up and doing jetty jumps and getting outside our comfort zones and doing workshops and just practicing visibility. And that has been so freeing, and it's just becoming even more freeing. It's really only just kicked off, of like a really distinct way to be like, okay, I'm going to add resilience to my life, add resilience to who I am, and start to be able to do things in my own way. So you become resilient enough to say, no, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it my way and not be like an asshole about it. But I want that for everyone. It's just so potent. Like, if you can be so self-assured, so assured in yourself, so much, like so fully full of self-leadership, I want that for everyone. And the world can only be a better place because of that. Your life can only be a better place because of that. And the other thing I really want for everyone is to have a nervous system that can support this. So I truly believe that to be able to take up more space, to be able to become who you are and be able to embrace all of that, you need to obviously build, I don't want to say obviously, you need to hold and build the resilience within your nervous system in this 3D reality. Oh, I didn't know, I was so woo. But yeah, in this 3D reality of who you are. So your nervous system carries the brunt of all of this outside your comfort zone work that you're doing. And I really want to help you nourish that and nurture that as another big part of what I want, or what is coming in this podcast. So how can you grow your, like, expand what you're doing, hold the amounts of wealth you want to hold the amounts of people you want to support? You need to build a strong foundation within your nervous system. And it's very empowering, I think, that you know where it is, you can feel it, you just need to tune into it and learn how to identify what your nervous system needs and let it grow, not just by being outside your comfort zone, which is a huge aspect of it, is a huge aspect of growing your like resilience in your mind as well. And it's very it's just such a keystone, such a key point in this journey. So you want to hold more wealth. Like, I truly believe that is related to how strong your nervous system is. And I can attest to this from my journey of being a really anxious human being when I was younger. And I couldn't hold very much, and I would fall apart very often. And the more that I have conditioned myself, the more that I have not conditioned, it's a word, that's the word we're trying to avoid here, that I have, though, worked out this muscle and, let go of my anxiety, understood where that comes from, understood that sometimes the fluttery feelings are not my anxiety. It's literally, well, which is my nervous system just being a bit dysregulated, and building that window of tolerance of my nervous system to let it be bigger, let it handle more things, and let it not jump outside the walls of regulation as often. And when it does, not be that shaken by it. So if I do end up in a dysregulated state, which is outside, for example, if you see like a channel, the channel is your regulated state and you want to be in there. On the edges is your stretch zone, and on the outside of those edges is the dysregulated state, is where you should be able to go and come back. But if you go and you kind of get stuck in that state, that's where the problem is. And that's what we just want to know how to be aware of and understand. Okay, so I'm outside, it's been a bit long, feel really garbage. How do I come back to it? So that's what we're going to share here in our episodes as well. I'm just so excited. Okay, so we are becoming the teacher we always needed. We are building this foundation within ourselves. We are practicing big things. We are getting visible. And my journey is within the Amplify Collective, and a heap of women are coming with me on it. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. So if you do want to actually check that out, I would love to offer just my listeners a free month inside the collective to come check it out. So you can look that up in the show notes and DM me for your spot. Very, very easy. So I just am so excited, like excited doesn't even begin to capture it. The mere fact of embracing my own thoughts and sharing them, my mere thought of strengthening my voice and sharing that. And it's been an incredible journey, and it's only going to get better. And there is going to be an event at the end of the year, FAQ, FAQ TBI. And every year from now on, I believe. And I just want these things, like, you can change whatever your goal is, or you can have a different goal than anyone else. But if you want to just, that you're meant for bigger and better things, this is amazing. Like, possibility exists in the unknown. Like, let's go forward into the unknown together. I want you to decide, and I want you to act, and I want you to commit, but I want you to feel really, really powerful from the inside and really strong from the inside to be able to do those things. It's going to be amazing. So I want you to be able to lead yourself out of self-doubt. I want you to regulate yourself when it feels hard. I want you to show up before you feel ready, but also never end up in a dysregulated state because you do that. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're practicing. And the embodied CEO journey is all about that. So this is also a space all my clients are now leaning into. So it's very much, I'm creating websites for my clients, and then we're leaning into, okay, so how can we be visible? How does it feel good for you to be visible? And let you lean into the confidence of yourself and your brand and who you are, and just invite people to work with you confidently and beautifully. It doesn't have to be this big macho confidence. It can be this big within confidence. There's this solidity within you. It doesn't have to be big either. There's a solidity within you, and the excitement to share what you do, because you've untangled who you thought you were, and you've become who you actually are, and you feel more comfortable, you feel more potent, you feel more yourself, you feel less resistance, and it's just a freaking beautiful place to be. Okay, so I hope this resonates, and if it does, please hit subscribe, follow me, and put the bell on in Spotify, and share it with a fellow CEO on the rise. And let's walk this path together. Let's grow this journey. Let's grow within and without, inside and out. Okay, I'm excited that you're here. Thank you so much. Please follow me on Instagram and DM me anything you'd like. Anything you like is a stretch, maybe. DM me on any questions. Let's talk about anything. Let's talk deep and meaningful things. So I'm at amanda.petra__. Thank you so much. So it's not about being perfect. It's about practicing, showing up while learning, and just being who you always needed. Thank you so much for listening. I do hope you enjoyed that. We are exploring our comfort zones and our edges with every episode, every guest, and every episode I do by myself. If you have enjoyed this, please follow us on Spotify, leave a 5-star review or a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean the world to us. We get to grow and have more informative guests on, more provocative guests if that's what you want. I am so down to see where this grows. In the meantime, follow me on Instagram at amanda.petra__, and I would love to chat with you in the DMs. What hit home, what didn't, what came to mind. It would be really cool. So I will see you there, and thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Although our podcast presenters and all guests strive to deliver accurate information, they cannot address your unique circumstances comprehensively. Therefore, the content shared by any speaker on this platform is not personalized advice for individuals and should not substitute professional medical or health guidance. It is crucial to consult a qualified medical professional or for personalized advice. Additionally, always seek guidance from a healthcare provider before making decisions regarding your health or that of your family. Furthermore, it's essential to recognize that what works for one person may not work for another, emphasizing individual responsibility for health decisions as promoted on our show. Thank you so much for listening to the episode, and we will see you on the next one.